Hey everybody, welcome to the Adobe XD Daily Creative Challenge. I'm your host, Jesse Showalter, literally running in the door and trying to make sure that I make my stream on time. Streaming is so much fun. Well, we have lots of cool things going on. We're right here inside the XD Daily Creative Challenge, and it's Thursday, folks. Lots of cool stuff has been happening for the last few weeks. We've been doing a UI and UX crash course here on the XD Daily Creative Challenge, and today is no exception. We're going to be doing some fun stuff. Tim Mobest said I would be late, about 5 minutes late. I was actually about 60 seconds late, so we're doing pretty good. Steve Festus Casaboom, which is the best name ever, is in the chat. He says, I'm the Flash. We got lots of people joining us in the chat. Julia Clayton, my homegirl, is back in the chat. We got Aiken and Richard Otley and Jack Wilson and all sorts of fun people inside the chat. If you're not there, you should be in the chat because that's where all the fun is at. So if you're watching this on YouTube, jump over to Behance, watch this with us. We're going to be having a lot of fun today. Here we go. So let's jump over to my screen and see what we got going on. This is the XD Daily Creative Challenge. If you don't know, let's talk about it in 60 seconds. And give me some time to breathe because I just drove probably slightly too fast on the freeway to get here. So I'm very excited about that. Well, each day you're going to receive a challenge. That's what we're doing right now. If you scroll down to the bottom, you will see that today we're going to be doing a little bit of Auto-Animate. We're going to be designing a mobile app for booking some movie tickets. Going to be pretty fun. And if you need the starting file, you can get it by clicking right there and downloading the starting file. So part two, you're going to join the community, not just this awesome live chat where we're talking to people like Richard Otley and Monir and Omar and Jan and Alexandra and Kristen, people from Brazil. All sorts of people all over. So not only are you going to be able to do that, but you should join us inside of the Discord. So I'm going there right now. We're going to jump over to the Discord, the Adobe XD Discord server, where we have over 35,000 creatives on the Adobe XD Discord server. This is a place where you get to post your work, get feedback, community, inspiration, encouragement, and critique of your work. It's where I'm going to be hanging out after the stream, so you should definitely be there. You're watching The Daily Show. That's part 3 right here. Definitely going to want to watch that Daily Show. There's a link in the chat that Tim just posted to join the Discord server, the XD Discord. So definitely want to do that. And then lastly, you're going to share your work on Behance, making sure you use the hashtag XD Daily Challenge. It's going to be really, really a good thing for you to do there because that way I can go in and find all of those XD Daily Challenges and review a little bit of that work. Speaking of reviewing work, let's take a moment, shall we, and look at some of the amazing work inside of our current challenge. Yesterday, we did some smartwatch stuff, which was new for me. Was it new for you? It was definitely new for me. And it really focused on some voice interactions. So we're going to open up a couple of these. Let's see if we can just play this one right in. Oh, look at that. Beautiful tap interactions. We were playing with voice interactions yesterday. These are gorgeous. Can I just say, I wished that I would have done this. This was on my mind yesterday to put some sort of fun visual in there as well. And even auto-animating a little bit of tick, 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 like every time. That's what we're gonna talk about today, auto-animate magic. This was by Subramanian, I think is how you pronounce that. Let's go to Zvonimir. Man, I'm murdering names today, but I'm gonna call you Vaughn for short. Vaughn is crushing it. Let's see, let's go down and just check out some of the work that he did right here. This is some really beautiful stuff. Okay, and we tap. Look at that. We're getting, oh, he probably did that with a little bit of bounce, ease in, ease out, or snap, and he was masking out the numbers as they went. That's a beautiful prototype right there. I like that he even designed his own little watch setup inside there. Beautiful stuff. Okay, this is what I also love to see in these XD Daily Creative Challenges is seeing the progression. Here's challenge 1. Here's challenge 2. Here's challenge 3. All these designs are from Roshit Shrestha, which I murdered that name, I apologize, but I love the work. Simple shapes, beautiful stuff, working on some auto-animate stuff, working on that, and then we have a little bit of, here's a timer, boom, gonna go in and press that play button, or maybe even use the voice commands to do it, boom, ooh, look at that running, oh, gorgeous stuff. An auto-animate master, absolutely love it. Well, why don't we jump over to Adobe XD? Why don't we go looking really quickly for today's challenge the tickets. That's what we're doing today. So if you don't have a XD open, you should definitely do that. There were some updates to XD that we didn't get around to using yesterday, and I restarted XD. Let's see if I can use them today. So we are on challenge number 8. Today is Thursday. Who's getting ready for the weekend? It's very, very close. People are in the chat. People are from Croatia. Check that out. Very nice. Very nice. All right, let's go down. I'm going to design a mobile app for booking movie tickets, right? We want to provide users with context as they navigate through the experience. We want to use Auto-Animate to prototype screen transitions, offer the user a sense of context. Context being the UX design principle of the day. Offering somebody context says, and it's really a little bit similar to yesterday, but we want to say, hey, you're here. We don't want to just, or not yesterday, the day before when we did overlays. This is another variation of that same principle, right? We don't want to be jumping people out all the time to new screens, refreshing blank page. We want to give them context from where they've come from to where they now are. We're going to do that in our purchasing experience today. We have some inspiration down there, and we have a little bit of resources and a link to our XD Discord server down below. So let's get started. I'm thinking, honestly, I've seen a lot of movie ticket apps, and I'm thinking that this one is going to be very, very similar to a lot of the ones that we've seen. So let's just zoom out and get everything set here. And really nicely, XD's telling me that my plugin manager has some updates to make. So I'm just going to let XD update my plugins real quick. That's nice. That feels nice to be up to date. All right, let's jump right in. Let's start with an image. So what I'm going to do is just go like this. I'm going to drag a rectangle out. I'm going to put it right there at the top. Let's take the border off of it. Let's fill it with something so you can see what I'm talking about right now, that I have a rectangle. And then let's use one of those fancy schmancy plugins that just most likely updated. I really like Photo Splash. I really love it a lot. So let's just do, what we'd want to do is go out and pull like a movie poster, and maybe that's what we will actually do, is find a movie poster. What's a great movie? Let's do that really quick. Let's do Endgame poster, because I'm a big fan. Anybody cry when they watch Endgame? I cried when I watched Endgame. And I watched it multiple times, still cried. I'm just letting everybody know, like legit real deal. So while that's downloading with my slow internet connection, let's go back, because this is going to be our image here. And then we're going to want to do another rectangle down below that overlaps. I just love that card style so much. So let's zoom in and let's just round this corner. What are we doing? 10 there? Okay, let's do that. Let's do 10 on each side. If you don't know, you can also round the corners over here in the inspector panel, and you can do it just using like the legit numbers instead of actually kind of like getting in here and trying to work the corner. Some people don't like that, and I get it. I get why you might not like that. So let's just make sure I'm on my fastest possible internet connection for my laptop, and we are going to keep cruising on this thing. So let's bring some typography out. What typography should we use today? Every touching, I don't know. Rosie says every touching for the end game. Not sure quite what that means. But Richard Ollie says cries every time. Yeah, you did. You know why? Because it's sad. Because we all love, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Endgame, I'm going to spoil things for you. We all love Iron Man, yo. Who doesn't love Iron Man? Okay, so let's just grab, I don't know, like an image like this. We'll make sure we get that. Let's put some text in, okay? And we'll write Avengers Endgame. Let's make sure that we can see our text by giving it a color. Let's bring the size of this thing down. It doesn't need to be that big. And let's make sure we spell endgame correctly. Is endgame one word or is it 2 words? Let's make it 1 word. Well, let's go see, because we have a poster right over here. So yeah, it's definitely 1 word. Let's do that. And we should not capitalize G for game. Now, yesterday we had an update where we could double click down here and close our text box. And I definitely updated XD and it's not working for me. So let me know, anybody else out there, if it's working for you, you let me know. I'm just gonna increase the size of this text, and let's take our image and let's just drag it into place. It's gonna be a little bit pixelated because I don't think we waited for the full thing to load. So maybe we'll try that again in a minute so we have a less pixelated version. But that could be all right for us to start with, shouldn't it? It could be. Okay, let's see. We probably need to be, this is where we are gonna select our seats. Let's make this number 2, okay? And let's make number 1, Ooh, what should we do? We are gonna delete this for now. Let's bring this card all the way up to the top. Now you're probably wondering, why would I bring the card all the way up to the top versus remove it? Because we wanna keep this card as we auto-animate in between these two elements. That's kind of what I'm thinking. So let's do this. We wanna do Avengers Endgame. Let's work with that in a second. Let's delete that for a second. We might bring it back, okay? How's our poster? That's a better version of our poster? Maybe. Maybe, maybe not. We might go pixelated today. Okay, so let's just start at creating. We're gonna use a little repeat grid action here. And let's just start with a color like this. Let's bring Avengers Endgame over. Let's shrink it down, okay? And let's put our movie poster in place. Let's round the corners a little bit. We don't need it to be super rounded, but just something that gets us the idea of what it is. We could also, you know, before we do that, always thinking of Auto-Animate and prototyping. Let's get rid of this thing we made and just bring our whole movie poster in. Okay, this will allow us just to reshape it. And I'm gonna check the Auto-Animate right now on it before we go any further to kind of show you what I'm thinking, what I'm doing here. So let's just bring this poster, something like that. And what do you usually have? Like, you have movie times, right? Listed underneath it. Like, let's do a 5 p.m. And we'll put like a little, let's do like one of those in between, or maybe just some spaces. Let's do space like that. And let's do a 6 p.m. Let's do a 7 p.m. These are, you know, we're just writing in some stuff. And let's bring the size of our text down. We're using Futura. I didn't even select it. It was just left over, but let's just keep it. Let's just keep rocking it and see how it looks, okay? So this is not going to be the most stupendous, but let's group, yeah, let's do this. And let's set Auto-Animate really quick, just for a second, just to see what happens, okay? So we're gonna hit prototype. I just wanna see the transition between the shape and the text and see everything kind of zoom into place. And let's see if we can make that work. So we're gonna tap, we're gonna Auto-Animate, and we're gonna go there. Let's try something like snap. Let's be snappy and try it out. So we snap and we see how it snaps into place. Let's prep just really quickly. This isn't gonna be how it ends up, but let's head back using the same thing. So now we should be able to auto-animate back and forth between the two, okay? Now, what is going on with our background? We're gonna find out right now. We zoomed in way too far. Here we go. Let's zoom in like this. Let's bring our artboards closer so we can work on them and zoom in so everybody can see. How's everybody doing? Everybody sticking with me? Somebody said they didn't watch Black Panther. You should. It was awesome. You missed it. It was so epic, but you should rent it. You should just stream it because it was like really, really good. Okay, so let's do this. Let's get rid of our card that was there. Let's bring this card back over, right? Our rectangle. And let's slide it up. And it slides up and down kind of thing. Now let's go back to our prototype and see what happens. Oh, you know what's happening? Okay, so when you see this little clipping, do you see it? The thing just kind of clips like that. What you're seeing is the differentiation of layers in between your two artboards. So you want to make sure that everything is stacked a similar way, okay? So we have, I'll tell you, let's get rid of it again. We can see, let's call this our card over here in our layers. It is above our image, but over here, our image was above our card. So we want that card to be above the image, and we want it to be like maybe down here. Like, let's just slide it down low. Now let's play. We shouldn't see that flash anymore. What we should see is the whole thing kind of moving up and down. Let's play, let's mess with the size of this so we can see more of it as it animates in and out. There we go. It's kind of moving up. Now we're using snap. You may not like snap. Maybe we don't like snap. Maybe we want to go and play with our transition. Let's tap it again, auto-animate. Let's not do snap. Let's do ease in and ease out. And same thing, we want to change this to ease in and ease out. Let's check that. A little nicer maybe, huh? We're still getting there. We're still working on some things, okay? So far, so good. Okay, let's go back to our design tab. And let's do, why don't we do this right in the middle like that? Let's make this really simple, really easy. Let's just group those together. I'm gonna press Command or Control R, boom. Excuse me, Command or Control R, I almost hit Shift. I'm just gonna drag down a bunch of versions using my repeat grid, okay? And that should be good. We'll drag it down to there. Let's make make sure our card is all the way down at the bottom, just like that. And now we can come into our repeat grid and we can start manipulating spacing. If we want about 25 pixels in between all of our movie posters, we can do that. That looks pretty good. If we think maybe we have some more room to play with here, we can change our movie poster and make it a little bit bigger. That will allow us to move this out to the side. And we take our repeat grid as a whole and make sure we have that space there. Now we definitely don't want to have those crowding our deal. So we're just playing with spacing right now. And what I probably should do is probably turn on like my layouts and my grids and be really, really precise, but I don't have time for that right now because we got a very quick stream we're trying to do. Now, next thing I want is I'm going to open up my icon repository, and just really quickly, I'm just looking for an arrow. Any kind of arrow will do, as long as it's like a normal kind of arrow. Let's just do a chevron, shall we? I'm gonna take this chevron. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of the bottom piece of it. And if you're wondering what I was using, it was called Icon Jar. And there's lots of different ones out there though. I just like having my icons in one place I can always go back to. So over here on our movie that we've actually tapped into, let's see if we can do this. Move it up, fill it with white, and maybe we actually want to think sometimes about, like, can you see it? Depending on the movie poster, you might not be able to see the back button. So maybe what we want to do instead is do a little ellipse. That's a rectangle. Let's do an ellipse around it. Boom, something like this. And let's go with like something kind of bright and fun that's, let's say, hypothetically matched our branding, something like that. Now we have a nice little floating button, floating back button, Command or Control K to make a component out of it. That way, if we want to reuse it or something like it, we can do that. All right. So far, so good. I'm just going to move. We probably want to put a few more things on this screen, but for now, that's good. Why don't we do like a fun navigation at the bottom? Let's go dark. Let's go inverted on this bad boy. Something like that. And of course, in here, you'd want to have your little, your icons and stuff, right? For your navigation items. But we're just going to draw some circles out like this. Repeat grid, drag out 4 of them, space those bad boys out. And then I just take the whole thing and I center it. Boom. That's how fast we're planning for like navigation. See how simple that is? So far, so good. Okay, cool. Anybody have any questions about my workflow as we're going? Please chuck those in the chat. I'd love to answer them. We are trying to get some work done. We don't have too much time left. Let's see who's talking about stuff in the chat. Somebody's talking about, the Mandalorian. Also a fantastic, can we really quickly? Let's just look at the Mandalorian. I swear I don't only watch sci-fi, superhero, and Star Wars movies, but I kind of only do. So just keep that in mind about me. Okay, let's do some other text down here. And we're going to want to, we're going to get to more of our auto animating here in a second, but let's choose like a medium for this. Let's say reserved. What else is another thing? Open. No, let's do available. Let's just do reserved and available. We'll move these over and we're just going to do little ellipses, okay, that have some sort of color inside. Let's find our color, our blue. Let's make sure it's in our swatches panel. Let's select the blue. Okay, I like that. And let's do a duplicate over here. We'll keep the available as the blue and then we'll do off limits like this as reserved. Okay, so far so good. All right. Cool. I'm going to take my background and I'm just going to lock it by just hitting the little lock symbol so I can work on top of it without moving. And I'm also going to take my download, my poster there, and I'm going to lock that. Okay, now it's all about doing a series of buttons that look good. Let's group our little labels together. That whole thing is our labels. So let's name it labels in our layer group. Woo, ABLS labels. Okay, cool. Let's see. Everyone's doing pretty good in the chat. It seems like everyone's talking to each other. I like it. You guys are becoming friends. That's awesome. Don't forget about me, you guys. You can talk to me too. Okay, let's take this. This is going to be actually kind of fun, kind of cool. I'm wondering how much we can use repeat grid here to create a series of columns and rows. Let's see. So I'm going to take my ellipse. Let's blow it up like this. I'm going to press repeat grid. Okay, I'm gonna bring it down like this, and I'm gonna bring it over. We're building a seating chart using repeat grid. Let's see how much we can do it. What shall we do? I tell you what, let's thin it out a little bit, or let's bring down the spacing, maybe to be like 10 pixels in between the columns and the rows. Oh man, we got a seating chart that we're cooking up right now. This is gonna be awesome. Okay, now I'm gonna take that whole chart there. I'm gonna center it. I'm gonna bring it back down into the center of that area. And there's always those little like front seats, right? Like where you have like some extra. So let's do this. We just duplicated the repeat grid, right? And I'm just gonna bring it this way. And then I'm just gonna center it like that. Okay, why don't we're just doing a little bit of stuff. We're just using repeat grids and just dripping them down. So they're lining up like so. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna duplicate the same ones, same spacing in the back. That goes there. This goes here, something like this. We're gonna take all of them and just use our vertical distribution tools to make sure that everything is good. Now, we could keep playing with this, right? Like, couldn't we? Like, we could make it like a little smaller or change it, but I feel like that's a pretty cool seating chart. So let's do the same thing. Let's bring our black navigation over here on the end or the bottom here. Why don't we bring this whole thing up? Let's unlock the card that it's on. Let's bring the whole thing up so we see the rest of that seating chart, just like so. I'm gonna grab all of my repeat grids, group them together, call it my chart, and now let's go in and let's customize some of them, right? Obviously, we gotta customize a bunch of them. So let's take this, select that, and let's fill it with, whoa, hi-oh. I tell you what, just because we're running short on time, what I want to do is I want to take this whole thing, I want to go into all of these, and I want to just ungroup the grids. Now I can grab all the individual seats. This is a packed movie, so I'm just grabbing multiple seats, not lots. When I go to the movies, I feel like I can never find a seat that is available for both me and my wife to sit like side by side, right? That's just always my problem. And that's the problem that's here. The only things that are available are like maybe a few that are way too close to the front. Like, of course, all the front ones have to be available, I think. That just makes, that's reality here, folks. And then there's just like sporadic seats available. Why don't we turn this into, instead of a nav bar, why don't we bring our text down here? I'm using Command or Control bracket just to shoot my layer up there, like in the layers panel to bring it above. And why don't we do this? Like purchase tickets. That's not how you spell tickets at all. Hello. And I'm just going to center that. And maybe, just maybe, no, let's go back out. I liked the way it was. Let's do that. But this could be a little smaller. That's a bit intense, isn't it? Yeah, so we're just gonna align everything inside there. Let's make this our button. Okay, excuse me, boom, boom. I'm gonna group that together. We have our whole chart that's grouped together. You have your labels that are grouped together, and we have the other stuff. Now here's what we need to do. Labels, chart, and this is our button. We're gonna finish up with our little auto-animate action here by grabbing these elements, bringing them back over to here. We're gonna paste them in. We are gonna opacity them all down, and we are gonna move them off screen. And then what we wanna do is make sure that we have our repeat grid, and this is our nav. So we're gonna name this nav. We wanna come over here, we wanna put that in and just move that down like so. And let's see if that works. So we're gonna move from one to the other. Boom. The only thing that I think we're missing is this doggone little name here is not doing what it's supposed to be doing. So we would just have to work with that a little bit more, work on our titles. But for the most part, the thing that blows my mind is how easy Auto-Animate makes it for you to do just like insane transitions like this. These are things that we can just pass on to our developers, and they just get such a good understanding of how we want things to feel and look. And this is an exercise in good UX design, which is giving context. This is where I was, this is where I've come from. That poster follows you, those details follow you, and it's right there. It's a good thing. This may not be the best interface I've ever designed in my life, but it's definitely showing a little bit of context. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream today. Thanks for being so amazing. I appreciate you guys. We'll be right back here for the final day tomorrow for the Adobe XD Daily Creative Challenge. Stay tuned. There's lots of great stuff coming up here on Behance Live. Can't wait for those things. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. Can't wait to talk to you in the Discord later today. We'll talk to you soon. See you tomorrow.